You have been feeling something strange lately. A pull away from the noise. A quietness that sits in your chest even when the world around you is loud. You look at your phone and feel nothing. You scroll through news and feel distant. You stand in a crowded room and feel alone. And you wonder if something is wrong with you. You wonder if this is depression. You wonder if you are broken. But what if I told you that what you are experiencing is not a sickness at all? What if this feeling of disconnection is not a sign that you are falling apart, but a sign that you are waking up? Edgar Cayce, the sleep-in prophet who gave over 14,000 readings in his lifetime, spoke about this exact experience. He called it the withdrawal of the soul. He said that before a person enters a new stage of spiritual awareness, they must first pull away from the world as they knew it. This is not mental illness. This is not depression in the clinical sense. This is your soul preparing for something much bigger than your mind can yet understand. And if you have been feeling this disconnection, this strange emptiness that no distraction can fill, then you need to hear what comes next. Let us be very clear about something first. Depression is real. Mental illness is real. And if you are struggling with dark thoughts, with hopelessness, with the inability to function in daily life, you should seek help from a trained professional. But there is another kind of withdrawal that looks like depression but is not. It is spiritual. It is purposeful. And it is temporary. Cayce explained that the soul, when it is ready to expand, begins to lose interest in the things that once held its attention. This is not because those things are bad. It is because your soul is outgrowing them. Think of it like this. A child loves toys. They play with blocks and dolls and little cars. But one day, that child grows older. They look at the toys and feel nothing. Not because the toys are wrong, but because the child has moved into a new stage of life. The same thing happens to the soul. You may have loved certain activities, certain people, certain routines. But now when you try to engage with them, you feel hollow. You feel like you are pretending. You feel like you are acting in a play where you no longer remember your lines. This is not a failure. This is growth. Cayce taught that the soul goes through cycles. Just like the earth moves through seasons, the soul moves through phases of expansion and contraction. Right now, you are in a contraction phase. You are pulling inward. You are closing the doors to the outer world so that you can open the doors to the inner world. And this feels uncomfortable because we are taught that connection to the outer world is what matters. We are taught to stay busy, stay social, stay engaged. But the soul does not grow in noise. The soul grows in silence. And right now your soul is asking for silence. This withdrawal is not random. It is not punishment. It is preparation. Cayce said that before a soul can receive new truth, it must first empty itself of old illusions. You cannot pour fresh water into a cup that is already full. You must empty the cup first. And that is what is happening to you now. The things that once felt meaningful, the conversations that once felt important, the goals that once excited you, they are losing their flavor. They are draining out of your cup, and it feels like loss. It feels like sadness. But it is not. It is clearing. It is making space. Many people panic at this stage. They think something is wrong. They try to force themselves back into the world. They push harder. They smile wider. They say yes to everything, hoping that activity will fill the emptiness. But it does not work, because this emptiness is not a hole to be filled with outer things. It is a doorway to be walked through, and the only way through is inward. Cayce warned against fighting this phase. He said that resistance only prolongs the discomfort. The soul is calling you home to yourself, and the faster you listen, the faster you will understand why this is happening. So if you have been feeling disconnected, know this. You are not broken. You are not depressed in the way the world defines it. You are being recalibrated. You are being tuned to a higher frequency. And that process requires you to step back from the static of the world. It requires you to stop consuming what everyone else is consuming. It requires you to stop pretending that surface-level living is enough for you. Because it is not, and your soul knows it. And that is why you feel the way you do. Now let us go deeper into what Edgar Cayce actually said about this withdrawal. He explained that the soul is not just a passenger in the body. The soul is the driver. And sometimes, the soul needs to take the wheel and steer you away from places that no longer serve your growth. This is not always pleasant. In fact, it often feels like everything is falling apart. But Cayce said that this falling apart is actually a falling into place. You are being repositioned. You are being moved from one level of awareness to another. And that movement requires disconnection from the old before connection to the new can happen. Cayce spoke about something he called sensory withdrawal. He said that when the soul is preparing to awaken, it begins to pull the senses inward. You stop caring about what you see on television. You stop caring about gossip and drama. You stop caring about status and approval. These things do not disappear because you judge them as bad. They disappear because they no longer resonate with the frequency your soul is tuning into. You are moving out of the lower vibrations of fear, competition, and distraction. You are moving into the higher vibrations of truth, purpose, and inner knowing. But here is the hard part. Nobody around you understands what is happening. Your friends think you are withdrawing from them. Your family thinks you are becoming strange. Your coworkers think you are disengaged, and maybe you are. But not because you do not care about them. You are disengaged because you are engaging with something deeper. You are listening to a voice that most people have learned to ignore. You are paying attention to the stirring in your soul that says there is more to life than this, and that stirring is not quiet. It is loud, it is insistent, and it will not let you go back to sleep. Cayce said that this phase is marked by a loss of interest in society. Not because society is evil, but because society is built on agreements that your soul no longer accepts. Society says that success is measured by money and titles. Your soul says that success is measured by alignment and peace. Society says that you should keep up with everyone else. Your soul says that you should slow down and listen to yourself. Society says that connection means being around people constantly. Your soul says that connection means being true to who you are, even if that means being alone for a while. This is why you feel disconnected. You are no longer agreeing with the rules that everyone else is playing by. And when you stop agreeing, you stop fitting in. You stop finding joy in the same places. You stop laughing at the same jokes. You stop caring about the same goals. And this can feel isolating. It can feel like you are the only one who sees things differently. But Cayce said that this is exactly what happens when a soul begins to awaken. You start to see through the illusions. You start to question what you were taught. You start to realize that most of what the world calls important is actually just distraction from what truly matters. And what truly matters? Your soul's purpose. Your unique assignment on this earth. Your reason for being here in this body, in this time, in this place. Cayce taught that every soul comes into life with a mission, not a job title. Not a career path, a mission, a spiritual assignment that only you can fulfill. And when you are living in alignment with that mission, you feel alive. You feel connected. You feel like you are exactly where you are supposed to be. But when you are living out of alignment, you feel dead inside. You feel disconnected. You feel like you are going through the motions of a life that does not belong to you. That is what is happening now. Your soul is pulling you out of alignment with the world so that you can come into alignment with your mission. And this requires a period of inner recalibration. Cayce compared it to tuning a radio. When you turn the dial, there is static, there is noise, there is confusion. But you keep turning until you find the right frequency. And when you do, the signal comes through clear and strong. Right now you are in the static, you are in the noise, you are turning the dial, and it feels uncomfortable. It feels uncertain. But you are getting closer to your true frequency. You are getting closer to the signal that has always been there, waiting for you to tune in. Cayce also explained that this disconnection is not just emotional. It is physical, it is mental, it is spiritual. It touches every part of your being. You may feel tired even though you are sleeping enough. You may feel foggy even though you are eating well. You may feel restless even though you have no reason to be anxious. This is because your entire system is undergoing a shift. Your body is adjusting. Your mind is rewiring. Your spirit is expanding. And all of that takes energy. All of that takes time. All of that requires you to slow down and let the process happen. Many people at this stage make a critical mistake. They try to fix the disconnection by going back to what used to work. They try to reignite old friendships that no longer feel right. They try to dive back into hobbies that no longer bring joy. They try to force themselves to care about things that their soul has already released. And this only creates more suffering. Because you cannot go backward. You cannot unknow what you now know. You cannot unfeel what you now feel. The door behind you has closed. And the only way forward is through the discomfort of not knowing what comes next. Cayce said that this is the stage where faith is built. Not faith in a religious sense, though it can include that. Faith in the sense of trust. Trust that even though you do not understand what is happening, it is happening for a reason. Trust that even though you feel lost, you are actually being guided. Trust that even though the world looks different now, it is because you are seeing it with new eyes. And those new eyes are a gift. They are a sign that you are waking up. They are a sign that you are becoming who you were always meant to be. But let us be honest, this stage is hard. It is lonely. It is confusing. You look around and see everyone else living their lives as if nothing has changed. They are laughing. They are planning. They are moving forward. And you are standing still, or so it seems. But Cayce would say that you are not standing still. You are going deep. You are doing inner work that most people will never do. You are facing the parts of yourself that most people avoid. You are questioning the beliefs that most people accept without thinking. And that work, that deep inner work, is what prepares you for the next stage of your life. So what is the next stage? What comes after the disconnection? Cayce called it purpose clarity. He said that once the soul has withdrawn from the noise, once it has emptied itself of old patterns and false beliefs, it becomes clear. It becomes focused. It begins to see its mission with sharp precision. And when that clarity comes, everything changes. The disconnection lifts. The fog clears. The energy returns. And you suddenly know what you are here to do. Not in a vague, general way. In a specific, undeniable way. You know your next step. You know your direction. You know your path. But you cannot skip to that stage. You cannot rush the process. You must go through the withdrawal first. You must sit in the discomfort. You must let the old fall away. You must trust that the emptiness is not the end, it is the beginning. It is the space where something new can be born. And if you try to fill that space too quickly with old distractions, you will block the very thing your soul is trying to give you. You will block your clarity. You will block your purpose. You will block your awakening. Cayce also taught that during this phase, your sensitivity increases. You may find that you cannot tolerate loud noises. You may find that you cannot be around certain people without feeling drained. You may find that you need more time alone than ever before. This is not weakness. This is protection. Your soul is shielding you from energies that would interfere with your recalibration. Your soul is saying no to what does not serve you so that you can say yes to what does. And this requires boundaries. It requires saying no to invitations. It requires disappointing people. It requires choosing yourself even when it feels selfish. But it is not selfish. It is necessary. Because if you do not protect your energy during this time, you will not have the strength to step into your purpose when the time comes. You will be depleted. You will be scattered. You will be pulled back into the noise before you have fully anchored into your truth. So honor your need for solitude. Honor your need for rest. Honor your need to withdraw, because this withdrawal is sacred. It is holy. It is the cocoon stage before the butterfly emerges. Now let us talk about how long this stage lasts. Because if you are in it right now, you want to know when it will end. You want to know when you will feel normal again. And the truth is, Cayce said that the length of this phase varies from person to person. For some, it lasts a few months. For others, it can last a year or more. It depends on how much inner work needs to be done. It depends on how deeply you are willing to go. It depends on how much resistance you are holding onto. But there are signs that you are moving through it. There are indicators that the disconnection is beginning to shift into clarity. One sign is that you start to feel small bursts of excitement about new ideas. You start to notice things that capture your attention in a way that nothing has in months. You start to feel pulled towards certain books, certain people, certain places. These are not random. These are breadcrumbs. These are your soul guiding you toward your next step. Pay attention to them. Follow them. Even if they do not make logical sense, yet another sign is that you start to feel less attached to the opinions of others. You stop caring so much about what people think. You stop trying to explain yourself. You stop defending your choices. This is a sign that you are anchoring into your own truth. You are no longer seeking validation from the outside. You are finding it within, and that shift is powerful. It is the foundation of everything that comes next. Because once you stop living for approval, you start living for purpose. And that is when your life truly begins. Cayce also said that during this phase, you may experience what he called spiritual visions or inner knowings. You may have dreams that feel significant. You may hear phrases or see images in your mind that feel like messages. You may suddenly understand something that confused you for years. These are not coincidences. These are downloads. These are your soul communicating with you in the only way it can while your mind is still adjusting. Write them down. Do not dismiss them. Do not talk yourself out of them. Trust that they are real. Trust that they mean something. Trust that they are part of your awakening. But here is something important. Not everyone will understand what you are going through. In fact, most people will not. They will tell you to snap out of it. They will tell you to get back to normal. They will tell you that you are overthinking or isolating or being dramatic, and you may start to believe them. You may start to doubt yourself. You may start to think that maybe you are just depressed after all. But Cayce warned against letting others define your experience. He said that the soul's journey is deeply personal. It cannot be measured by external standards. It cannot be judged by people who have not walked the same path. So if you are in this stage, surround yourself with people who understand. Find communities of seekers. Find teachers who speak your language. Find content that validates what you are feeling. Because validation matters. It reminds you that you are not crazy. It reminds you that you are not alone. It reminds you that what you are experiencing is real and sacred and part of a larger process that has been happening to souls for thousands of years. Cayce himself went through this withdrawal multiple times in his life. He experienced periods where he questioned everything, where he felt disconnected from the world, where he wondered if his gifts were real or if he was deluding himself. But every time he moved through that phase, he emerged with greater clarity. greater purpose, greater power. And the same will happen for you. This disconnection is not the end of your story. It is the middle. It is the turning point. It is the part of the journey where the hero goes into the cave, faces the darkness, and comes out transformed. And you are the hero of this story. You are the one going into the cave. You are the one facing the unknown. You are the one choosing to trust even when it is hard. And that makes you brave. That makes you powerful. That makes you exactly the kind of person the world needs right now. Because the world is full of people who are sleepwalking. The world is full of people who are too afraid to question, too afraid to withdraw, too afraid to look inward. But not you. You are awake. You are aware. You are willing to feel the discomfort of growth. And that sets you apart. So what do you do now? How do you move through this stage with grace instead of resistance? Cayce offered several practical steps. First, create space for silence. Turn off the noise. Stop filling every moment with distraction. Sit with yourself. Let the emptiness be empty. Let the silence be silent. This is where your soul speaks. This is where clarity comes. You cannot hear your inner voice if you are constantly drowning it out with outer noise. Second, pay attention to your body. Cayce believed that the body holds wisdom. It tells you what it needs. If you are tired, rest. If you crave certain foods, eat them. If you feel called to move, move. Your body is part of your soul's communication system. Do not ignore it. Do not override it with willpower. Listen to it. Honor it. Trust it. Third, journal. Write down what you are feeling. Write down your dreams. Write down your questions. You do not need to have answers. You just need to give your inner world a place to express itself. Cayce said that writing is a form of prayer. It is a way of speaking to the universe and to your own soul. And often when you write, clarity comes, insights arrive. Patterns reveal themselves, so write, even if it feels pointless. Even if it feels messy, write. Fourth, be gentle with yourself. This is not a race. There is no deadline. You are not falling behind. You are exactly where you need to be. And the more you judge yourself for feeling disconnected, the longer the disconnection will last. So practice self-compassion. Practice patience. Practice trusting that this process is unfolding in perfect timing. Because it is. Even when it does not feel like it. Even when it feels like you are stuck, you are not stuck. You are growing. And growth is not always visible from the outside. Fifth, seek out beauty. Cayce said that beauty is medicine for the soul. Look at art. Listen to music. Spend time in nature. Let yourself be moved by things that have no purpose other than to be beautiful. Because beauty reminds you that there is still magic in the world. It reminds you that there is still meaning. It reminds you that you are not just surviving. You are still capable of feeling. You are still capable of awe. And that is a sign that your soul is still alive, still awake, still reaching for something greater. And finally, trust the process. Trust that this disconnection is not a mistake. Trust that it is not random. Trust that it is part of your soul's plan. Trust that you are being prepared for something that you cannot yet see, but that is already waiting for you. Cayce said that the soul always knows the way. It always knows the next step. And when you stop resisting and start trusting, the path becomes clear, not all at once, but step by step, moment by moment, breath by breath. So if you are feeling disconnected from the world right now, know this: you are not broken. You are not lost. You are not alone. You are in the middle of a sacred process. You are being recalibrated. You are being prepared. You are being called into a deeper level of purpose and meaning. And even though it is hard, even though it is uncomfortable, even though it is confusing, you are doing exactly what you are supposed to be doing. You are listening to your soul. You are honoring your truth. You are choosing the path of awakening. And that is the bravest thing a person can do. The disconnection will not last forever. The fog will lift, the clarity will come. And when it does, you will understand why this time was necessary. You will see that every moment of discomfort was preparing you for your mission. You will realize that the disconnection was not a loss. It was a gift. It was the space you needed to become who you were always meant to be. And when you step into that version of yourself, fully aligned, fully awake, fully alive, you will look back on this time with gratitude. Because this is where your transformation began. This is where you chose yourself. This is where you said yes to your soul's calling. And that yes will change everything. So take a deep breath. Trust the process. Honor where you are. And know that you are exactly where you need to be. The world may not understand, but your soul does, and that is all that matters. You are waking up. You are being prepared. And your purpose is waiting for you on the other side of this disconnection. Keep going. Keep trusting. Keep listening. Because what comes next is going to be worth every moment of this discomfort. I promise you that.